That's totally obvious.
That isn't.
That's totally obvious.
Same old thing all over again.
I could have told you that before.
I couldn't get away with that.
Anything's possible.
Tell me that isn't true. That's no secret.
He should have known better.
I'm staying out of it.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
That's no secret. I used to say that myself. I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Is it really true?
Always act in the name of Innos. Who told you that? It's better to watch out who you tell what.
You don't have to tell me that.
That'll only cause more trouble.
I couldn't care less.
Anything's possible.
I've got no time for things like that.
How's the situation?
The camp is surrounded by orcs. They've really dug themselves in. But even more alarming are the attacks by the dragons. They have destroyed the entire outer ring by now. Another dragon attack, and we'll take heavy losses.
How many dragons are there?
We don't know how many there are all in all, but it's more than one. But that isn't all. The whole Valley of Mines is full of evil creatures that support the dragons. Let's not kid ourselves. Without reinforcements from outside, our chances of getting out of here alive are slim. We'll stand.
Which group of scrapers did Diego go with?
This convict, Diego? He's with Paladin Sylvestro's group.
Hey, you!
Where do you come from? You aren't one of the scrapers, and you aren't one of my people. Well,
I've come across the pass.
over the pass, you actually got through? By
He should have known
Innos.
better.
What are your orders, soldier?
That's no secret.
I come from Lord Hagen. He wants me to bring him proof of the presence of the dragons.
And you've just come here to get it and disappear again?
Well, that's what I had in mind.
So he wants proof. He can have it. But I can't send you back to Lord Hagen without giving him information about the ore. Listen, Lord Hagen absolutely must learn what the situation is here, and how much ore we've mined up to now.
All right. What do you want me to do for you?
I've got 3 units of scrapers out there, but they haven't sent me a single nugget. Visit the mining sites and report back to me how much ore they have stored. Then I'll write you a letter that you are going to take back to Lord Hagen.
Oh, well, I guess I have no choice. I've met Marcos.
And? What does he have to report? How much ore does he have for us?
4 chests. He's left the mining site to take the ore to safety. Now he's guarding the chests in a small valley behind the lines of orcs. He's asking for reinforcements, however.
What? Only 4 chests, and he left his mining site? Damn! That isn't good. And now he wants more
I
men?
say that myself.
Well, fine. I'll send him 2 people.
You already know what I think.
I couldn't care less.
Nothing's
But
going
why
to
me,
change
of
that.
all people?
Because you know a way to get through the lines of orcs. My boys would be hopelessly lost out there. You, on the other hand, have managed to get through once already. That makes you the best man for this job.
Who told you that?
I need some equipment.
Talk to Tandor about that. He'll get you everything you need.
I
Where can I find the mining sites?
Here, take this map. It shows the 2 areas where the mining sites are located. If you have any more questions, ask Parzival. He can tell you all you need to know about the scrapers.
Where did you pick that up then? You have to feel sorry for the poor guy.
I want you to let Gorn go.
I can't let him go. He has committed many crimes and they must be atoned for.
Can I pay his penalty?
That might be a possibility, but certainly not a cheap one. I want 1,000 gold pieces for Gorn.
That's a lot of gold.
Gorn also has much to answer for. Bring me the gold, and I'll set Gorn free.
I could have told you that before.
No idea, you tell me.
That's nothing new.
How's the situation?
I need the reports about the other 2 mining sites. Then we shall see.
As if I didn't have enough problems.
I've got no time for things like that.
I can't go on like this forever.
Hey, you!
Hands off my pots. Nobody touches my pots, understand? I'm responsible for the food, and that means nobody else has any business here. I hope I made myself clear.
Couldn't get away with that.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Who made you a cook of all people?
That was Commander Garon. Before I became a prisoner, I used to cook in the Raging Boar.
And what did they lock you up for?
There was a misunderstanding between a guest, a meat cleaver, and me.
Anything new?
If you want to learn the news, then ask the Knights. I'm just an imprisoned cook.
That was quite obvious. That's the first I've ever known better.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
I'm in enough trouble as it is, I'll tell you that.
Show me how I can forge a good sword.
Make sure that the steel glows evenly all around, so that you get an even blade afterwards. If you keep that in mind, the blades you forge will be harder and sharper. This is all you need to know. If you're looking...
You came over the pass? Well done. We have already lost a lot of men out there. I know myself what it's like out there. I accompanied a reconnaissance unit for a while. Do you have a weapon? If you need a good weapon, I'm your man.
What became of the unit?
We scouted the area and wanted to advance to the coast. We set up our camp in a cave. It was late at night when the orcs came. They charged us up the slope with torches and drums and discovered us. We tried to flee, but I was the only one who got through. Soon after that, the orcs erected their big palisade, and we pulled back into the castle.
Garon sent me. I need some gear.
Close or long-range combat?
Long-range combat.
Bow or crossbow?
Crossbow.
Then take this light crossbow. You can also get bolts from me.
Show me.
had there. Nothing there to be had there to plunder. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there to plunder. Nothing to be had there. 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 Nothing there. Nothing there, nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there, nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there.
Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. you know where Diego got to?
Diego? He was one of Sylvestro's scrapers. But he's made himself scarce. I saw him with 2 knights in a box, not so far from here. You can see the old watchtower from here, right? Go over there, and then towards the castle. A path leads through the rocks to the right. That's where they went.
What are you doing here?
I'm a scout. I roam the country. But all those snappers haven't made it easy for me. It's a good time to land a few trophies, provided you know what you're doing.
Where do you come from?
I'm here on behalf of Garand.
Very good. I can certainly use new men.
I am not here to assist you.
No? Then why did you come?
My mission is to find out how much ore you have mined so far.
And my mission is to do everything I deem necessary in order to mine the ore and protect it. That includes the requisitioning of men. You are in the service of Innos. Therefore, you will follow my orders.
What can I do for you?
For days, a horde of snappers has been roaming around our camp. Looks like they're just waiting for a good opportunity to attack. I don't know what they're waiting for. But as long as they're here, there's no peace to be had in the camp. That Fed, above all the rest, is scared out of his mind. And driving the other convicts crazy. So who should I send? Bilgot? Huh. He's a wreck too. And Tengron? Sure, he can fight, but he lacks the necessary guile. The only one who can do it is you. I want you to hunt down those damn beasts and kill them.
How's the morale?
You want to know how my men's morale is? They can hardly deal with these.
Hey, where do you come from? Have you just come from the castle?
Yes, I come from the castle. Why?
What's the situation there?
No better than here. The orcs are still there, if that's what you mean.
Damn, you're not safe anywhere. I'll tell you something. If I weren't scared shitless, I'd just beat it out of here.
What are you doing here anyway?
I'm the general dog's body here. Schlep stuff around, keep an eye on the snappers. Bill got here, Bill got there. I should have just stayed home with my old lady. Wasn't any different there, but at least there was something decent to eat. And now I'm all that remains of the men-at-arms that were assigned to Fajeth. How was I to know that this expedition wasn't gonna make it back? My pal Olaf made himself scarce. Maybe he pulled it off.
I found Olaf.
And what's he up to?
He's dead. The wolves ate him.
Ah, damn. I hope that at least I'll manage to get out of here.
What do you know about the snappers?
Why do you want to know that? And don't tell me you're just curious.
I'm going to hunt those snappers.
That's crazy. I've watched them. Those are bloodthirsty beasts.
Then tell me what you know about them.
Yeah, I can help you, but only under one condition.
What do you want?
If you manage to kill the snappers, then you have to get me out of here. I can't take it here much longer. Have you talked to Fed? The guy is wrecked, and I don't want to end up like him.
Tell me what you know, then I'll get you out of here.
I knew I could count on you, so pay attention. I've watched the snappers for quite a while. They're very cunning, and they have a kind of communication, but they never go alone and attack only in a pack. But there's something else. There's a lizard among them that's different. It rarely shows up, but I've seen it. The other beasts bow when they go past it, but they always keep it in sight as they do so. As long as that one doesn't move, no lizard in its vicinity will.
Where can I find that bloody beast?
I saw it by the steps of the old watchtower.
Fine. I think I understand. Thank you.
Remember, you gave me your word.
May Innos be with you. Do you bring news from the castle? Are reinforcements coming soon?
I haven't come to bring news, but to get news.
Then speak to Fajeth. He's in command here, but if you have news from the castle, then let me know.
How's your situation here?
We're surrounded by monsters, and have hardly mined any ore so far. Plus, we've lost a lot of good men. I don't know how long we can hold out, but we won't give up.
About the news.
Yeah. What's the situation in the castle?
It's still besieged by the orcs, and also still open to the dragons' attacks.
Ah, damn. I hope the boys will hold out. Listen, a friend of mine is in the castle. His name is Udar, and we've known each other a long time and fought a lot of battles side by side. I want you to take him this ring. He's to keep it safe for me. Tell him I'll get it when I come back.
No problem. When I get to the castle, I'll give the ring to Udar.
Good. The magic of the ring will give Udar new strength. Hey, and tell him that I'll get it back from him.
I could use your help. Fajeth wants me to hunt the lizards and...
I take orders only from Fajeth. And my orders say to guard the mining site, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Maybe someone else will help you.
Hey! Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Hey, you! I killed the leader of the pack.
Good. Without a leader, they're only half as dangerous. I don't think they'll attack us anymore.
Tell me how much ore you've mined so far.
Report to Garand that so far we've only been able to mine 2 chests of ore. I've already taken too many losses thanks to the constant attacks. If Garand can send me more men, then we can mine more ore.
I see. I'll let him know.
Good. Then the rest is up to you. We'll hold the position here for as long as we can.
Wait.
Hey, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, so I was. But now I'm back, and I'm trying to prove that the dragons are really here.
Who are you doing that for?
I work for Lord Hagen. With the help of the Paladins, the dragons can be stopped.
The Paladins? Let me tell you something. After I managed to flee from here, I went to Khorinis. I wanted to warn the Paladins about the dragons. Heaven knows why I even tried. That puffed-up Lothar didn't even listen to me, and certainly didn't let me talk to Lord Hagen. Instead, they sent me back here with the expedition. So don't talk to me about Paladins.
The important thing is to stop the dragons as long as there's still time, no matter who helps us achieve that.
Stop them? We should get our asses out of this valley as long as we still have time for that. Say, how did you manage to get across the pass? I thought that it was swarming with orcs.
There's a path through the abandoned mine which isn't held by orcs.
That's good to know. Then I will head for Khorinis before long. I've got a few old accounts to settle there.
What about the 2 dead knights in front of your hideout?
They met their doom during a fight with a group of snappers. Well, the Valley of Mines has its own rules. I told them so, but they wouldn't listen to me.
I want to buy Gorn his freedom, but Garand is asking 1,000 pieces of gold.
A tidy sum of gold. I've got 300 gold pieces on me. You can take them. The rest is up to you.
What do I need to know about the valley?
Since the fall of the barrier, a few things have changed around here. The orcs are now in charge. We humans are nothing but fodder for the true rulers of the valley, the dragons. Stay away from anything that is stronger than you, and avoid everything that resembles a dragon.
Listen, I need this proof.
All right, I'll help you if I can, but I'm not gonna stick my neck out for anyone.
I'm traveling on behalf of Garand. He needs to know how much ore has been mined so far.
And then he will give you the proof you want?
That's right. So, can you tell me anything about it?
There are 4 chests of ore here in the back of the cave. Sylvestro's people mine them. Garand is welcome to come and get them, but I won't be here then.
How did you come by the ore?
I was with Sylvestro's group. We had been prospecting for several days when Sylvestro suddenly became nervous. He said that we should take the ore to a safe place. Well, since I was planning to skedaddle anyway, I volunteered to hide the ore. And that was lucky for me, because the scrapers met with a few mine crawlers, and none of them survived.
Enlightens all those who recognize his wisdom.
That's the first I've heard of it.
That's really not my problem.
It can't go on like this forever.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
I'm in enough trouble.
I wouldn't have done that.
Who told you that?
Anything from me.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
Hey, you!
No one must
I talked to Fajeth.
What has he got to tell me?
His people have mined 2 chests of ore.
2 chests? I don't need 2 chests. I need 200!
He wants me to tell you that he needs more men.
What?
Exactly what I said.
I'm supposed to send even more men to certain death? He can forget it!
Decides what's right or wrong.
It can't go on like this forever.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
That's no secret.
About Sylvestro's mining site.
Those are
Did you
all
go
just
see him?
rumors.
Did you talk to him?
Everyone's dead there. They were surprised by mine crawlers.
What about the ore? Do you know how much they've mined?
They managed to secure a few chests first. They're in a cave, along the path from the castle to the mining site.
Damn!
All just rumors.
Those were a lot of good men. May Innos have mercy on their souls. Damn! What's going on out there? Has Beliar himself come to wipe us out? My men are almost all dead, and with the bit of ore we have, we can't even stop one orc, let alone an army! This expedition is doomed to failure.
Virtue is long, rocky.
That's nothing new.
That's totally obvious.
Same old thing.
What about the letter for Lord Hagen?
We have 10 crates of ore on the hull, and we've lost twice as many good men. You shall have your letter. Lord Hagen must hear of this. This valley is cursed. Evil abides here.
You don't have to tell me that.
Those are all just
Hey, you!
rumors.
I want to buy Gorn's freedom.
Agreed. You can go to Gerald and tell him to release Gorn on my orders.
You don't have to
What are
tell
you
me
planning to do now?
I've tried everything. You're my only hope now. You and that Lord Hagen will send me reinforcements. We'll continue to stand firm and pray to Innos that he won't leave us despondent in this dark hour.
The things I could tell you.
You have to feel sorry for the poor guy.
Totally obvious. You have to feel sorry for the poor guy. I could have told you that before. I'm not touching that. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Set Gorn free. That's an order from Commander Garand.
I've already been informed. Here's the key. You can go in. I've heard a thing or two.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
That really didn't deserve that. Don't say you didn't know that.
Enough of this lounging about. You're free.
It's about time somebody got me out of here. I certainly hadn't expected it to be you, though. It's damn good to see you.
Garand says you eat too much and he can no longer afford to feed you.
Now that you mention it, I could kill a couple of beers. Let's get out of here. I've seen enough of this cell.
Okay, see you with Milton.
Sure thing.
They can't go on like this forever. Anything's possible. That was quite obvious. I knew that would be a problem.
Nothing's ever going to change that. Some problems solve
You
themselves.
mustn't believe everything you hear. So why
It's better
won't
to
they
watch
listen
out.
to me?
You can't go on
Like this forever.
It's better to watch out.
Where did you pick that up then?
He doesn't see that I can't help him.
There've been all kinds
It was just like you said.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
Hey, you! I heard that you are the best crossbowman far and wide.
If they say so, it must be true. What do you want?
I am the greatest.
You're all right. Well, if you want to learn, then I'll help you.
Here, I bring you Tengrand's ring. It's supposed to protect you. Tengrand says he'll come and get it once he's back.
What? Do you know what ring that is? He got that ring as an award for his courage in battle. You say he wants to get it back? If it's the will of Innos, he is going to. If it's the will of Innos.
Show me your spell scrolls. Hey!
That was obvious all along.
Nobody ever asks
Hey!
my opinion.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I already thought that.
That was obvious all along.
I've heard a thing or two.
I'm not telling you anything new.
You already know what I think.
You should really have known better. Listen, I've loafed around here long enough. It's time I saw something other than this valley. How did you get over the pass?
There's a path through the abandoned mine.
Good. I'll wait for the right moment and then I'm out of here.
Where will you go then?
I heard that Lee is still alive. I want to join up with him again.
We'll meet again.
You can count on it.
Who told you that?
Same old thing all over again.
I've freed Gorn.
Good. Then we should think about what happens next.
What are your plans?
I shall return. I will wait for a while, but now that Gorn is free, I can leave with him. It is more than necessary that Pyrokar learns of the situation here.
If you think so.
I hope that Lord Hagen will recognize the threat that emanates from this valley. Not to think of what will happen if the orcs come over the pass.
Well then, have a safe trip.
Inus enlightens all those who recognize his wisdom.
Those are all just rumors.
It's time, Bilgot. Pack your things, we're off.
I'm ready.
Let's go together.
To the pass? Why not? You go first. You've only just come from there. But don't even think about going too close to the castle or to the orc wall. Also, we need to avoid all fortified camps of the Paladins. I have just escaped from one, and I don't intend to go back toiling in one of the mines. And it goes without saying that we're not going near any dragons. Let me know when you're ready.
Come with me.
All right.
Nothing there. Nothing to be had there, nothing there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to plunder. Nothing there to be had there. Nothing there. Well done, one dirty beast. Nothing there to be had there. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there. Nothing there to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Well done, one dirty beast less. think your buddy's a little stressed out. Just cut it out. Don't provoke him any further or I don't have my hand. At this point, there's nothing I can do about his being here. I'll make up for it someday. Nothing to be had there. Nothing there, no plunder. One less monster around! One less monster around!
Right. There we are. Now hit the road. This area is hot.
Thank you.
Don't get yourself eaten. That'd be a pity.
Farewell.
Nothing to be had there. Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there.
Right, here we are. I shall go the rest of the way by myself. I have a few things to take care of before I can return to Khorinis. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you in town.
Nothing to be had there.
There he is. We shall get.
Hey, you're finally back. You have to go see Zardus right away. There's a problem.
That I certainly believe.
All hell's broken loose since you left. Talk to Zardus. He's waiting for you. Zardus gave me this rune for you. It'll help you get to him faster. We'll meet again there.
Hey! I'm back from the Valley of Mines.
High time, too. What did you see?
You were right. The land's been overrun by an entire army of the enemy. Orcs are besieging the castle, and dragons have laid whole areas to waste. It won't be long before they attack Khorinis, if I'm not mistaken. Lester said you wanted to see me at once. What the hell has happened here in the meantime?
The enemy has learned who you really are, and that you're planning to get hold of the Eye of Innos. He has recognized the threat. It has forced him to leave his cover and openly attack. The game of hide and seek is over. Yesterday, nobody knew what the enemy's attack would look like. Now it has become only too obvious.
I finally got the proof that Lord Hagen demanded of me.
What proof is that?
I received a letter from Garand, the commander of the Paladins in the Valley of Mines. In it, he asks for reinforcements.
That should be enough to convince that militant warhorse. Well done.
I was attacked by magicians in black robes.
The enemy has many faces. The Seekers are one of them. They're really the ones who prepare the ground for the enemy. They have taken up their positions in strategic places and are now only waiting for an opportunity to spring the trap. Stay out of their way. They are very powerful magical beings, and they will try to deter you at any cost.
What will be the next step now?
Go and bring Lord Hagen the letter from Garand, so that he may grant you access to the Eye of Innos. Then go to the monastery and talk to Pyrokar. He must give you the eye. Nothing is more important than getting this artifact away to safety. Go now before it's too late. The enemy will also try to lay his hands on it.
I thought you'd come to talk to Lord Hagen, so you should go ahead and do that.
And the sea released
I was at
the
your
land,
hut in the Valley of
and
Mines.
there arose
So it's still
all
standing?
creatures,
Yes, and I also
trees,
know
as
what you
well
wanted
as
there.
animals,
Did you find it?
wolves, as
If
well
you
as
mean your
sheep.
pouch with the lumps
Last
of ore.
all
Yes, I have it.
arose
You're a
the
fox.
human,
You know that.
and Adon
What
was
else could you have
pleased
wanted in
with
that
what
old
had
shack?
arisen.
There isn't anything else.
Do you have it with you?
I'll give you 100 gold coins for it.
But so great
Sure.
was the wrath
Why
of
did you leave it
Beliar
there in the first
that he
place?
Came across the
I had
land
no
and
idea
chose
that ore was
the
so
beast.
valuable here in Khorinis.
And Beliar
For one
spoke
measly
to
piece
it,
of ore,
and the
you couldn't
beast
get so much as a
became
place to
his
sleep back in the
subject.
penal colony.
And
In the
Beliar
harbor city,
gave unto
they'll
it a
practically
portion
bash your
of his
skull in
divine
if they find out
power,
you have ore
so
on
that
you.
it might destroy the land.
Give me 100 gold coins, and I'll give you your ore back.
But
Deal.
Enos
Here you go.
held what Beliar
You're a
had
real
done.
friend. Thanks a
He
lot.
also bestrode the land and chose the human. And Inus spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Inus gave unto him a portion of his divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar.
Can you for a pot?
Tell me about...
All right. You shall force what is nobody's destiny but yours. Through fire and snow, through ice and flames, men in foreign armor, a swamp, lizards, they await you. That's all. There's nothing more I can see.
Hey, you!
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis.
Hey, you! I was in the Valley of Mines and saw the dragons. I have a letter from Commander Garand that confirms everything I said.
That'll interest Lord Hagen. You had better go directly to him.
How's the situation in town?
Everything is under control. Carry out your assignments.
How come you're in the slammer?
Those swine have thrown me in the hole. I'm supposed to have murdered a paladin, but I didn't do it. They're only trying to frame me.
Why would they do that?
How would I know? You've got to get me out of here. Talk to Lord Hagen. Tear down the wall. Who cares? Just do something.
What happened?
I went downtown with Hodges to buy some supplies for our boys. Suddenly, we heard a loud scream and the sound of running feet.
Get to the point.
We knew at once that something had happened and that they would grab us at once if they saw us there. We ran like hell, then just before we got to the city gate, I tripped and sprained my ankle. The rest is soon told. The militia was on me at once and they threw me straight into this hole.
Who was murdered?
I have no idea. One of the Paladins. I don't know them.
Have you got a name?
Some Lothar, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. You had better ask Lord Hagen. He knows all the details.
Do they have any evidence against you?
They say they have a witness who recognized me.
Well, do you know who the witness is?
No, all I know is that he's lying.
Who's leading the investigation?
Lord Hagen himself. Since the victim was one of the Paladins, this falls under martial law.
What does that mean?
That's easy to guess. If I don't get out of here, they're going to let me swing without further ado. You've got to help me, or there'll be a war. Lee's not going to take this lying down. You can figure out for yourself what that means.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis, by the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen. The sentence is death by hanging. The execution will take place in a few days.
Hey! And? Back to work, are you?
Oh, man. They didn't get anything done while I was gone. Now I'll have to delve into those construction plans again.
Oh well, don't let me keep you then.
All right. Have a good trip.
And how's it going now?
Monty is back. He's busy studying the plans. Maybe we can get the ship done now.
That's the first I've heard of it.
That's terrible.
I'm staying. For Innos.
He'd better shut up.
For all your stuff, I'll give you 100 gold pieces.
You don't say.
All right, sold.
We've made some
If you take one more step by Innos, I shall knock you down.
I'm back from the Valley of Mines. I need to speak to Lord Hagen.
All right, you can go in. He thinks it's as easy as that.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Nobody wants to know.
I bring you news from Garand. Here, he gave me this message for you.
Our situation is worse than I had feared, but report to me on the situation in the Valley of Mines.
The Paladins are holed up in the castle in the Valley of Mines, surrounded by orcs. There were many casualties in the prospecting operations, and there's barely any ore left. Well, I should say that without any help, the lads are lost. That's how it looks.
I shall find a way to rescue this expedition. You have done much for us. Innos will thank you.
I'm not all that interested in his gratitude. I want his eye.
Yes, of course, I stand by my word. Take this letter. It will open the monastery gates to you. Speak with Pyrokar, the highest fire magician, and show him this authorization. He will grant you access to the Eye of Innos. One more thing before you go. Take this rune as a token of my gratitude. It will take you safely back to the city whenever you want.
I need to talk to you about Bennett.
But that's the mercenary who murdered one of my men.
I believe that Bennett is innocent.
The evidence is clear. He is guilty.
So what if the proof is wrong?
Be careful what you say. You raise some serious accusations. If you cannot present me with evidence that the witness lied, then you had best hold your tongue.
How come you're so sure that Bennett is the killer?
We have a witness. As you can see, there is no doubt about the mercenary's guilt.
Who is that witness?
Cornelius, the governor's secretary, saw the murder. His description fits Bennett, no doubt about that. As far as I am concerned, that settles the matter. The mercenary will hang for treason.
I want to take up service with the Order.
To be a warrior of Innos means to devote yourself entirely to the cause of Innos. Only the noblest and if you are truly I'm no better off myself.
How's the situation?
I must.
That will never change.
I need. How come you're so sure that Bennett?
We have a witness. As you can see, there is no doubt about the mercenary's guilt.
Who is that witness?
Cornelius, the governor's secretary, saw the murder. His description fits Bennett, no doubt about that. As far as I am concerned, that settles the matter. The mercenary will hang for treason.
I want
to be. If you are truly determined to become a paladin, you.
Look, I've got a statue of Innos for you.
Oh, thank you. Very, very much. May Innos let his light shine on you.
Yeah, never mind.
Here, take this.
Could you cook me some soup?
Nothing could be simpler.
Hey! What did... Impressive.
And Innos, in his wisdom, did so.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yes, for my current assignment, I need the claws of a snapper. But not just any old claws. It would have to be something special. The claws of a mighty beast who has killed many men already, or something like that.
Where can I find snappers?
There are a few of them on this island, but most of them live in the Valley of Mines.
And what's in it for me?
I could get you a ring of invincibility.
I'll see what I can do. I've got some special snapper claws for you.
My customer will be happy to hear that. Here's the ring I promised you.
Show me your wear.
That's what I've always said. That's what I've always said.
Someone's gonna pay for that.
You saw the murder of Lothar, didn't you?
I need not answer any questions about a current investigation. Lord Hagen already has everything I know on record.
What was it you saw?
Really, I haven't got any time now. You need to go now. The office is closing.
Enough of that. What did you see?
I saw how the mercenary struck down the Paladin from behind, and then he took his sword and rammed it through his chest.
Are you completely sure?
Yes, of course. I saw it with my own eyes. But I really haven't got any time now. There's a huge pile of paperwork I need to do. Put away that weapon. Smart kid.
I don't believe you.
So what? What are you going to do about it?
Perjury will land you in the slammer for a long time.
You're trying to threaten me? A little guardsman is threatening me, the secretary to the governor? If you don't get lost right now, I'll see to it that you are demoted. Shut up!
Nothing there.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone, you...
How's it going?
Have I not made it clear that I want no contact with you?
No, not in so many words.
So I certainly hope you get the point.
Someone's got to do the work. He had better show. He better show.
For Innos.
Wait a minute.
I am Cedric the Swordmaster, Paladin of the King.
Can you train me?
I only train Paladin. I...
He never would have thought of that himself. Wouldn't be so sure. It's really not my problem.
That was no big deal.
He listened to the wrong people.
Cornelius lied.
How did you know that?
Here, I've got his diary. Everything's in there.
That slimy little criminal! In view of the new evidence, there is nothing else I can do. By virtue of the office granted me by king and church, I declare that the prisoner Bennett is exonerated of all charges and is thereby a free man. Cornelius is to be taken into immediate custody for perjury. Your deeds would give honor to one of our own. That's all just gossip.
I want to take a...
Good.
I'm ready.
Then so shall it be. Many men have taken this path and given their lives in the name of Innos. Do you swear that your deeds will honor their deaths and proclaim the fame of Innos?
I swear.
Then, from now on, you are a member of our fellowship. I hereby appoint you a warrior of Innos. I give to you the weapons and armor of a knight. Bear them with pride, knight. Henceforth, by virtue of your rank, you shall have access to the monastery. Albrecht will teach you our magic. Just go and talk to him. And of course, our quarters in the upper end of the city are now open to you. That's not what I heard.
managed to get accepted with... I'm glad I took you on as an apprentice. Even if you didn't spend a lot of...
I want to buy a magic orb.
You paladins can count yourselves lucky to be by decree of Lord Hagen. I may only sell you So, what can I offer you?
These are bad times. Everybody knows about this.
You listen to the wrong people.
But so great was the wrath of Beliar.
Hey!
So now you are a paladin. Congratulations. I thought from the beginning that you wouldn't stay with the militia long.
I think that Cornelius is lying.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What proof do you have?
I've read his diary. They bribed him. Everything was just a bunch of lies.
If that is really so, you must go to Lord Hagen immediately. Show him the diary. He will take care of the rest.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. The Smith Bennett has been declared free of guilt because his innocence was proven by a clever advisor of Lord Hagen.
Hubert. Hey!
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order
Hey!
So, back to working in the fields?
Hey, the guy who saved my life. Yeah, it's more hard labor for me now, especially with those two nutty brothers. Oh man, the bandits weren't that bad.
Hey, you! So, back to working in the fields?
Hey, the guy who saved my life. Yeah, it's more hard labor for me now, especially with those two nutty brothers. Aw, man, the bandits weren't that bad.
Did anything else happen?
My sheep keep disappearing. Soon I won't be able to feed us anymore.
Is there any other news?
Someone keeps stealing my sheep lately. I haven't been able to...
Who could have done that?
I've got a hunch about that. Some really nasty fellows have settled into the caves over in the forest. I find it hard to believe that they're living on berries. I'm almost certain that's where my sheep are disappearing to. About your farmhands, you brought them back. You're one brave man. Take this gold as a token of my gratitude.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, you bum. You haven't come about that sheep, have you?
You stole the sheep from Akil the farmer.
So what? What are you gonna do about it?
Give me that sheep or I'll punch you in the eye.
Then look out, boy. All hell's about to break loose.
Come with me.
Good. Here's a few gold coins. I hope it's enough.
I found the sheep rustlers. You were right. Those fellows in the forest cave did it. They'll never steal sheep from you again.
Thank you, noble servant of Innos. Take this as a small token of thanks for the selfless favor you did for me.
Hey!
Me.
Hey, you. Hey, you. Ever been to the monastery?
Maybe. Why?
Are they still taking on people? I wouldn't know where else to turn.
Where do you come from?
I used to be captain of a big whaler, my boy. The sea is my home. My ship, the good old Magdalena, was sunk by pirates a few months ago, and now I'm stranded here. All I ever wanted was to go back to sea. Since I've come here, not one schooner is called at this accursed port. The only ship which is anchored in Khorinis is that blasted war galley of the king, and they don't take on anyone. So what else can I do? There's no work for me in town. I've tried everything.
You'd better get off the road.
Don't worry.
I've already noticed that the wilderness out here has become damn dangerous in the last couple of days.
I can hardly believe it. Are you really a paladin now?
Obviously.
If someone like you is with the paladins, then Beliar's thugs had better watch out. If you did in the sleeper, that handful of orcs shouldn't be a problem.
This is not only about the orcs.
I know, but it's still good to have you on our side.
Oh well.
What are you doing here in the monastery? Let me guess. You want to be instructed in the art of magic.
Perhaps.
I knew it. Best to talk to Marduk. He's responsible for you paladins. You'll find him in front of the chapel.
I need to get into the monastery. It's urgent.
Yes, sure. Here's the key.
How did you get to the monastery so fast?
What kind of a question is that? I crept through the pass and made my way straight to the monastery. Admittedly, it was never easy avoiding all the monsters making themselves at home on this side of the valley, but ultimately I encountered fewer problems than I expected.
Do you know where the others are?
Gorn seems to have coped with his stay in Garan's dungeon very well. In any case, he wanted to go to Lee and see what was happening on the farm. After the grub they serve in the dungeon, he's probably stuffing his face right now and putting the mercenaries' provisions to a real test. Diego mumbled something about a reckoning. No idea what he meant by that. But I suspect he's in the city. You know him. Always there when there's something to be had.
Do you know anything about the hooded figures?
No, but I have a bad feeling about those guys. Be careful if you run into them.
I see that you have decided to fight on our side. I am glad. We can use every man. You should go speak directly to Marduk. He is responsible for you paladins.
I couldn't care less.
Can't go on like this forever.
I want to increase my magic powers.
Only Innos decides what's right or wrong.
Do you really think?
Have you got anything else for me?
Yes. As a member of the library, you are given the key to the library. There you will find brothers Karas and Highgrass. If you like, you can speak with them there. May Innos protect you.
Hey!
That was no big deal.
How's it going?
I thank Innos that I can be here in the monastery. Only Innos decides what's right or wrong.
You already know what I think.
What are you planting here?
We're trying to grow healing plants that Master Neoras can use to brew potions.
As if I don't have enough.
What are you doing here?
I must not speak with you. It's not looked on with favor if we talk to strangers.
That doesn't sound terribly happy.
Well, I mean, everything is just fine, really. Only, I don't want to complain.
Oh, come on, you can tell me.
And you really won't tell the magicians?
Do I look like I would?
All right. I have a problem with one of the novices. He's got a hold over me.
Come on, spit it out then.
Igaraz, that's the novice, found some of my private papers. He threatened to give them to the magicians if I don't do what he says.
What are you supposed to do for him?
I don't want to talk about it. In any case, it isn't pleasing to Innos.
I don't want to think what would happen if it came out.
Maybe I can help you.
You would do that?
Well, that depends, of course.
Naturally, I'd pay you for that.
How much?
Of course, I don't have much money, but I could give you a spell scroll. I have a healing spell.
I'll see what I can do.
Honestly, it just has to work. It has to. So, you only need to find out where Igarez keeps the stuff. Then you swipe it from him, and everything will be just fine.
Relax. You just continue for now. I'll see to the rest. Hey, you!
What can I do for you?
We need to talk about Babo.
Yes? What's wrong?
You've got something which belongs to Babo.
What might that be?
A few papers. Babo would like them back.
He would, wouldn't he? I can imagine. Unfortunately, I prefer to keep them, which brings us to a bit of a dilemma.
Hey, you!
Can't go on like this forever.
How are the sheep?
How do you think they are? They stand around and munch grass. I'd rather know what's happening outside. The magicians seem to be very nervous.
You already know what I think.
Strangers in black robes roam the countryside.
What do you mean? What sort of strangers?
Nobody knows where they've come from. They wear long black robes and they cover their faces. They seem to be some kind of magician. At least they're capable of magic.
That sounds very disturbing, but I'm sure that the High Council will solve this problem.
You already know what I think.
There are dragons in the Valley of Mines. They are besieging the royal troops together with the army of orcs.
Dragons? I always thought they only existed in horror stories.
They're there, believe me.
But the King's Paladins will deal with them, won't they?
We'll see.
You don't have to tell me that.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
Welcome, my son. Since when are you one of the Paladins?
Nobody ever asks me.
Only for a short time.
Then I bid you welcome. In this battle, we need every man who has the courage to oppose evil. The fate of us all lies in the hands of men like you. May Innos ever give you the courage you need.
What's your job here?
I prepare the Paladins for their fight against evil.
That was no big deal.
That'll only cause more trouble.
He really should have known better.
But there are only magicians.
That is correct. In contrast to our community, which honors the word of Innos, the Paladins honor the great deeds of our Lord above all else. We are the representatives of Innos, but the Paladins are his warriors, who go into battle in his name and increase his glory.
Same old thing all over again.
Could have told you that before.
Is there anything you can teach me?
I am an expert in the magic of ice and the magic of thunder. I can teach you their power. However, I only instruct magicians.
Time for things like that.
No one must violate the divine order.
What can...
Naturally, I cannot teach. I can, however, bring the essence of Innos. Besides, it is my task to prepare you for the consecration of the sword.
And the magic?
Here, we teach only our magic. You must learn the magic of the Paladins in the city.
What's the consecration of the sword?
The consecration of the sword is one of the Paladins' most sacred rituals. During this ceremony, the holy power of Innos flows through the blade of the Paladin's sword and gives the sword undreamed of powers. A sword so consecrated is a Paladin's most valuable possession and will accompany him his whole life long.
What do you mean by that?
When Innos had to leave our world, he left humankind a part of his divine power. Only a few of us humans are allowed to use his power and to oversee justice in his name.
And what do you want to bring closer to me?
I can set you on the right path to recognize the essence of Innos and follow him.
There's more, believe me.
Can't go on like this forever.
Things I could tell you.
Maybe later.
You are heartily welcome here anytime.
Had to happen sooner or later.
I want to come.
If you are determined to take this step, you will first need a blade of With this, you should then retreat to the chapel and pray. During the prayer, and after a reasonable donation to our Lord Innos, you should ask Innos for his grace and guidance in the battle against evil. If Innos is well disposed towards you, your sword will be consecrated to our Lord from that moment on.
Where can I get a magic blade?
Try in the city with
No one must violate the divine order.
What kind of a donation?
Now, in view of the grace that is granted to you, a sum of 5,000 gold pieces is more than suitable. Of course, you are allowed to give more.
You better watch out who you tell that to.
That was no big deal.
Hey, you!
The honorable warriors of Innos rarely stray into these rooms. What can I do for you?
What exactly is your job?
It is my responsibility to train mages in the art of spherical manifestation.
What does that mean?
Well, I teach them how to summon creatures or beings from other states or spheres. This is usually called summoning, although this expression alone is insufficient for the art of calling a servant. Furthermore, I own some interesting spell scrolls which Gorax does not have.
How are your studies coming along?
The enemy has many faces. Which of them presents the greatest danger for the monastery is awfully difficult to determine.
Show me your wares. Hey!
I am Master Highglass, Guardian of the Fire and Keeper of the Knowledge.
What are you studying, Master?
My research focuses on fire, the power of Innos. It is his gift and at the same time a mighty weapon, and I create runes which contain his power.
Any news?
Yes. Well, you've probably noticed those black-robed figures.
I've met them.
This brings us to the core of the matter. At the moment, we're observing a very rare constellation of stars. To be more exact, the sign of the ox currently stands in direct correlation with the sign of the warrior. I suppose you know what that means.
Well, to be honest...
Yes, I see. Well, I cannot explain the entire background to you now, but it definitely signifies a great change, and I do not like change. Therefore, I want you to get me a book from town. It's called The Divine Power of the Stars. You may have to rummage around for it a bit, but I'm sure you'll find it.
I'll see whether I can find it.
That's good. It frees up my time so I can follow some other trails as well. But don't take too much time. Time, I'm afraid, is what we have the least of.
Who told you that?
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
Dismissed.
Any news?
Not at the moment.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance or we shall all be doomed.
I have come to take the Eye of Innos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Innos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy. The Eye of Innos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
Who did this?
Evil is cunning and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the street, in every home and every public square. This can only mean that he no longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro, the enemy has taken possession of him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye. I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with him, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
One more thing. Some of the roadside shrines dedicated to Innos have been desecrated by the enemy. They have lost their magical consecration.
I see. And now?
It is up to you to purify these shrines so that the situation does not escalate. Take this holy water and trickle it on the base of the shrine. With the holy words of purification, the shrine will regain its old power. Korax can sell you a map on which our shrines are marked. Now, go and perform your tasks.
Watch out who you tell that to.
Can I be of assistance to you?
What's your task here?
My tasks are many and varied. Not only am I the steward, but I am also the treasurer. Moreover, I supervise the wine cellar, and I'm in control of the monastery's food supplies. So, if there's anything you need, you can always come to me and get it. For a modest contribution, that is.
I need a few things. Hey, you!
What? What's wrong? Why are you bothering me? Can't you see I'm in the middle of an extremely complicated experiment?
I didn't mean to disturb you.
You already have. Well, what do you want?
Can I learn from you?
I shall instruct you in the secrets of alchemy.
Do you really think?
No idea, you tell me.
Nobody ever asks me.
I used to say that myself.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. That's just what I said.
I couldn't get away with that.
Nobody ever asks me.
Same old thing, all over again.
There have been all kinds of rumors.
Innos deals out fair punishment.
You better watch out who you tell that
I've got your documents.
to. Really? Oh, thanks. You've saved me. I don't know how to thank you.
Yeah, just calm down.
Are they really mine? Are you sure? Show me.
Here they are.
Yes, they're complete. Did you look at them?
Does that make a difference?
No, just as long as I have them back. Whew. Now I hope I can rest easy again.
Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Innos.
Certainly.
No one really wants to hear that.
Nothing amazing to me anymore.
You just have to listen.
That was obvious all along.
That was no big deal.
Is it really true?
That was no big deal. Sooner or later.
That's not what I heard. If he doesn't see that, I can't help it.
I couldn't care less.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
It had to happen sooner or later.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
No one really wants to hear that.
There isn't much.
Can you I might well be able to...
Innos,
Grant me your aid and purify this shrine. Hey! What?
At the moment, I can't teach you any.
Has Pardos come back?
Yes. He's inside, resting. Thanks for everything, you.
Never mind.
Wait, I'd love to give you a reward, but I haven't got...
Forget it.
The militia are gone, and Balthazar can use your land again.
Why?
Because I said so.
All right, whatever you say. Let him find a place for his beasts somewhere behind the field.
How's the situation?
Malik has disappeared and taken everything and everybody who would work for me with him. He said he was headed for the mountains. He couldn't stand it here anymore. The hordes of monsters pouring out of the pass every day into the high pastures are really getting to me. If at least I had a few helpers or mercenaries. There was even one who was willing to work for me. Changed his mind, though. I think his name was Wolf.
It'll be all right.
Without Malik, nothing gets done around here anymore. If something doesn't happen soon, I'll have to give up my farm. Hopefully he'll come back soon.
Did something happen?
You've got to help me. The Black Robes have invaded my house. The Royal Guard people are supposed to take care of everyone's well-being, right? Those fellas said they were looking for something, but surely not in my house. Please help me make them go away again.
Your house is empty. The Black Hoods have left.
I knew that the guard could be counted on.
Not so fast, my friend. From now on, you're going to abandon your dirty deals and act for the common good instead, or I'll be back.
I don't understand. What else do you want? All that I can do is give you a bit of gold and ask you to spare me.
Give it here, then. I'm in a hurry.
Here.
Wait a minute.
Hey. I can't complain. Hey.